Okay, let's unpack this. You know that feeling, that sense when life just feels heavy.
Yeah, like you're really tired, maybe a bit down, discouraged.
Right, and tackling anything big just feels, well, impossible. It happens to everyone, I think.
Definitely. And often, when you're in that space, you don't need some super complex plan.
Exactly. Sometimes simple, gentle words are what actually help. That's what our source material is getting at today, isn't it?
It is. Messages you kind of need to offer yourself almost.
Mm-hmm. We've got this interesting list here. 16 specific messages put together for those times, for exhaustion, discouragement.
Yeah, it's not like a deep academic thing. It's presented as, practical, comforting reminders.
So our mission for this deep dive, let's go through these messages, really try to get the wisdom behind them.
And pull out the valuable bits, the insights that might help you, the listener, find some support or maybe a new way of looking at things.
Okay, so setting the stage. The source starts by just acknowledging that feeling heavy-hearted, worn out, discouraged. It gets it.
And it jumps right to this key idea. Maybe the best thing is just gentle words to remind ourselves.
I like that. Focuses inward first.
Yeah, it recognizes that when you're feeling depleted, your energy for big actions or complex thoughts is, well, it's low.
So the starting point has to be self-compassion.
Oh.
Simple stuff,
Yeah.
personal.
Exactly. Which leads us straight into the first few messages. The source groups them under self-preservation and acceptance.
Message 1 hits hard. No matter what happens, never abandon yourself completely.
This really puts you at the center, like you're your own constant support system.
Yeah?
And the source says taking care of yourself when things feel hopeless isn't weak. It's actually brave and most necessary.
Brave. I like that framing.
Yeah.
It flips the script on self-care.
Right.
Yep.
You are your own constant ally. That's the core idea.
Okay. Then message 2 gets practical about feelings. Be honest with yourself about how you feel. It says denying them makes things worse.
It challenges that instinct to just, push stuff down. Burying sadness or anger doesn't make it go away.
So what's the insight there?
Well, the source says acknowledging and accepting those feelings is crucial. They're normal and have the right to exist. Acceptance is how you start processing.
Accept the feelings. And maybe just pause. Is that message 3? If today's too exhausting, tell yourself, I'll think about it tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. It's giving yourself permission to rest strategically.
Not just putting things off forever, but recognizing limits.
Right. You don't have to solve everything right now. The source suggests that rest can actually bring new energy, new perspective. Solutions might appear later.
That makes sense. And it ties right into message 4. You need time to rest, so you have energy to continue living.
Yeah, this pushes back hard against feeling guilty for resting, like it's lazy or something.
It uses that phone battery analogy, which is great.
It is. It's just a necessary process to function. Taking a break isn't giving up. It shows, how to take care of ourselves. It's basic maintenance.
Okay, so internal focus, acceptance, rest. Got it. The next batch of messages seems to shift a bit, looking at external space and routine.
Yeah, how they impact your internal state. Message 5 talks about finding independence by disconnecting. Take yourself to a place disconnected from the outside world.
Disconnecting from all the noise.
Exactly. The constant demands, the information overload. The source suggests stepping away, maybe a quiet park, walk by the sea, even just turning off your phone creates space.
Space to what?
To listen to your own hearts. Find some inner peace. The idea is external quiet helps you hear your internal voice.
Quiet the outside to hear the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that resonates. Then message 6 builds on that by suggesting changing your daily routine.
Yeah, routines can feel safe, but the source notes they can also feel like being trapped in a box.
So shake things up a little.
Even small changes. Visit a new cafe, try a different route home, anything to break the monotony. It can bring new perspectives and a feeling of freshness. Stimulate your senses.
And message 7 offers that classic idea after a setback. When one door of happiness closes, another door will open.
This tackles that feeling of being stuck after a loss or disappointment.
You can get tunnel vision, right?
Yeah.
Only seeing the closed door.
Exactly. The source says disappointment can blind us to new opportunities right there. The key is accepting what's ended and consciously facing forward.
Then you can actually see those new possibilities, maybe even better ones.
Potentially, yeah. It's about choosing where you focus your attention.
All right, moving on. Messages 8, 9, 10. These feel like they're about navigating hope and uncertainty.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Message 8 is quite nuanced. People can live with hope, but if you expect too much, it can become poison too.
Okay, so hope is good, but expectation, not so much.
That's the distinction the source makes. Hope is vital, a driving force. But rigid, super specific expectations, they set you up for heavy disappointment.
So hope fuels the journey, but don't cling too tightly to the exact destination.
Exactly, except things might unfold differently. Which leads nicely into message 9, tackling future anxiety.
Ah, yes. Instead of being uncomfortable and anxious about the future, it's better to have fun and walk forward step by step.
Right. It points out how much energy worrying about the uncontrollable future drains. You miss the good stuff happening now.
So the advice is, focus on today.
Focus on what you can do today. Take small steps with a light heart, the source says. Don't get bogged down by what-ifs.
And message 10 broadens the perspective on life itself. The world doesn't have just one answer. No one is wrong. We're just walking different paths.
This is a big one, a real antidote to comparison, right? Judging yourself or others.
Yeah, the pressure to follow a certain script.
The source says there's no single right way to live, no single definition of success, and that's okay. Accepting that diversity frees you up, less measuring yourself against everyone else.
Okay, so we've covered self-care, perspective shifts, managing hope. Now, messages 11 through 14 seem to focus more on, taking action and growth, even when it's hard.
Yeah, starting with message 11, the power of starting small.
When doing anything, start with small things, gradually and slowly.
This directly tackles that feeling of being overwhelmed by a huge goal. The source stresses big changes start with small steps.
Break it down, avoid getting paralyzed.
Exactly. Focus on manageable tasks, build momentum. Small actions done consistently add up to big results. That's the insight.
Makes sense. Then message 12 challenges that fear of even trying.
Yeah.
If you don't try first, no one knows how much you can actually do.
Right. It pushes against staying safe by doing nothing. Potential is unknown until you act.
So trying isn't about guaranteeing success.
No. The source reframes trial and error as essential, a necessary part of learning and growing. It's about discovering what's possible, not avoiding failure.
Okay. And message 13 links action to meaning. Do what you want to do. If you continuously do what you love, you'll eventually succeed.
Yeah, this points to passion as the best fuel, really, the most sustainable kind.
Why is that?
Because doing something meaningful gives you that deep inspiration to overcome various obstacles. Things will get tough, but passion helps you push through. It's about resilience, finding that internal drive.
Got it. And message 14 offers a really important way to look at setbacks, doesn't it?
It really does. Life slips and injuries don't mean we're going the wrong way, but actually we might be rolling forward.
Rolling forward. How so?
Well, the source argues these tough moments, the pain, the mistakes, aren't proof you messed up or chose the wrong path. They can actually be signs you're learning and growing.
So view them as part of the process, not a dead end.
Exactly, like moving forward on a learning curve, it helps you not give up easily.
Okay, last two messages, 15 and 16. They seem to bring us back to finding joy, appreciating the present.
Message 15 is quite touching. Even on days when you lose your dreams, don't lose your laughter.
Wow. That acknowledges that sometimes, dreams change or don't work out.
It does. Life involves loss. But it insists that finding happiness in life's little things is still vital, and it specifically calls laughter the best medicine for a tired soul.
Laughter as medicine. Simple, but profound.
Yeah, the insight is that small joys aren't trivial. They're a powerful way to build resilience and heal.
And finally, message 16. Feels like a deliberate pushback against striving. An ordinary life is already the most wonderful thing.
Yeah, it challenges that constant pressure, doesn't it? The societal push for greatness, whatever that means.
So it's saying, appreciate the simple stuff.
Exactly. The source reminds us that the real miracles that happen every day are often in the ordinary. A hug, good coffee, sleeping well.
Wonder and value aren't just in the extraordinary moments. They're right here.
They're abundant in the everyday. That's the message.
Wow. Okay, going through all 16s. Clear this isn't about some complicated program. It's simpler.
Yeah, it's about gentle reminders, like the source says, recalibrating inside.
And it really hammers home that point. Taking care of our mental health is work that needs to be done every day.
Not just for the really bad days, but especially when we need encouragement the most. It's ongoing.
And always coming back to treating yourself kindly. Be intentionally loving and patient with yourself, just like you would with someone you love most.
That kindness piece is central. And the overall perspective is that feeling exhausted or discouraged, It's temporary.
They're temporary phases, not your identity. That's a powerful distinction.
And just holding on to the hope of a lighter tomorrow is enough to keep moving forward. Sometimes that's all you need.
So this journey through the messages, it really offers a whole toolkit, doesn't it? Different angles for different moments.
Definitely. Internal acceptance, changing routines, managing hope, taking small steps, finding joy.
Perspectives you can draw on, depending on what feels right for you at the time.
Exactly. Tools offered by the source material.
Right. And thinking about that idea that mental health care is daily work, not just crisis management. Here's something maybe for you, the listener, to chew on after this. If you took just one of these gentle reminders
Yeah.
and intentionally brought it into your ordinary day,
Before you even feel discouraged.
yeah, how might that one small act, that gentle reminder, shift your perspective on everything else that day?